Hello and welcome to PS Such a Connection. I'm P.
And I'm S, and we're talking about Finding Prince Charming, episode 2.
That was nice.
That was nice.
So it starts out right, and Eric had an awkward encounter with Chad, and they're all sitting in the living room talking about what happened. So Eric claims that Chad walked into the kitchen with his hands down his pants, and then I think it comes out later that he said to him, like, let's go over to the, like, screen room or something like that.
Sort of room.
So, yeah. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think I feel pretty similarly to you. I like Eric, but, and, like, all he was saying was, like, I was uncomfortable with it, but, like...
Yeah.
So, I think it got blown out of proportion.
It really got blown out of proportion.
Kind of ridiculous. Chad was probably just, as they say later, scratching himself or something. Men put their hand down their pants.
I can attest to the fact that I have been in rooms with plenty of men who have had their hands down their pants for completely non-sexual reasons.
The last part really fixes that sentence.
I think I've been, like, leaning on a guy's shoulder and he's just, like, fixed it, you know?
Yeah,
like, just, sometimes you gotta move it around and, like...
Yeah.
I assume. I've heard.
Neither of us know for sure, but what we're assuming is things have to be adjusted, things get itchy and need air.
Yeah, I mean, I adjust my boobs all the time, so, like,
right?
it makes sense that you have, like, kind of, like, I don't want to say that, like, little boobs, and then another thing that you have to take care of there.
And third item.
There are a whole bunch of issues
to attend to.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Like, so that was our, that's it.
Yeah. And maybe it was, like, this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that, so they have to have cameras in this house at all times. They have to have some raw footage that they can be like, roll tape, and then we, like, see the black and white image of, like, Chad strutting into the kitchen.
Yes,
and then we get, like, a better idea.
Yeah. That's what I would, like, you know they have it somewhere.
They
Why
have
can't we
to.
see it? But then... So, they get this date card. And things perpetuate with the hands in the pants situation.
Yeah.
But they get the date card, and they're amazing, and they do the Blue's Clues thing.
Oh, like, I almost passed out from how happy I was, because I was like, they are too awesome. I love them too much. I can't make it through this season.
Like,
I'm gonna die
just
of
comparing
happiness.
them to the guys on The Bachelorette, who are, like, the worst people. They dredge up out of... Okay, we need muscly, awful people. Where can we find those? Fighting pits. I don't know where else. Just there. That's it.
Yeah, they definitely get all the guys from The Bachelor from the fighting pits.
Those are fighting pits. You know, the worldwide.
You haven't heard the Coliseum is open up at night. That's where they get all the guys for The Bachelor.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. These guys obviously are too busy watching Blue's Clues to be in the fighting pits. So, and they go to the beach.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
And we see Robert come up out of the water, looking like Adonis.
Stroke his chest a little bit, and we were like, okay with it. It was fine.
It's too much. It's too much.
I get a little hot, like,
oh yeah,
sweating a little bit. And then I feel like almost right off the bat, Eric is like, Robert.
Well, right off the bat in the show. We don't know.
That's
There could have
true.
been, like, 3 hours between when they got there and when he brought it up.
That's true.
Right off the bat in the show, he's like, hey, Robert, I'm, like, super uncomfortable.
Which I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, is almost the exact same thing that Charlie said to him that he got sent home for.
Yeah.
So, And Robert's all, like, concerned, and, like, I'm like, this is exactly what Charlie did
To be fair, right, when Charlie said it, they had spent one night in the house. Now, presumably, they've had, like, a week or at least a couple of days in the house together.
Yeah.
Still don't necessarily know if Charlie should have gone home for the same thing, but...
I feel like the talking about other people thing was an excuse to be like, I wasn't attracted to him, so...
Yeah.
Which I'm sure, like, 90%. I mean, like, 90%, it has to be, like, on The Bachelor and Bachelorette. That's what gets you sent home the first night, too.
Yeah,
so, like,
definitely.
Whatever, it's fine. Yeah.
There are just so many people on The Bachelorette that you don't have to, like, tell them why you're sending them home.
Yeah, exactly. Robert talks to Chad about it. Pause.
Wait. Okay, so Robert talks... I missed that entire conversation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I only know it from what Kristen wrote.
We had a guest take down my notes for me today.
And she was much better at watching the show than
So
us.
much
We were, like,
better.
gossiping and, like, oh my god, who's your favorite? And she was like, guys, there's information on the screen right now.
Things are happening. Robert talks to Chad about it, and he's like, Robert, like, people are saying you're being kind of, like, mean and stuff. Where I think that, like, Robert definitely should not have addressed it on a group date. Like, just...
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like they have that kind of cocktail party thing.
Yeah.
So unless Chad ended up getting the date, he wouldn't have had a chance to talk to him at all.
That's true. That's kind of true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It seems... I don't know. It just seemed like a weird thing to, like, right off the bat bring up to someone, like... And then Chad got, like, ultra defensive. Like, whoa. And then he...
Yeah, which he kind of did the whole episode, which makes you think that maybe it wasn't just a adjustment type thing. Maybe it still wasn't, like, exactly what Eric said it was, but, I mean, maybe he is attracted to Eric, and so this thing that was innocent now becomes something where he has to, like, defend himself against not being attracted to Eric, when maybe he does have a little bit of attraction, so he's being a little bit more, exactly, defensive about it. Than he would be if he weren't attracted to Eric and it didn't have anything to do with that.
Yeah, that could definitely be it. So then Chad confronts Eric about it.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of confronting.
Mm-hmm.
It's confrontational.
There was a lot of confrontation and controversy this episode.
It was controversy, confrontation, connection, and chemistry. The 4 C's. And he gets, like, yeah, it's just, he's like, you don't exist to me anymore.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay.
It was a little full on.
Eric was like, listen, you just kind of, like, made me uncomfortable this time, and you're gonna deny that it ever happened altogether. Well, okay. And then he was like, so that's how I saw it happen.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went down. It was a little like, I don't know. I could understand. He, like, took it to level 10.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I kind of get that. I was a little bit scared. I was worried that he was gonna go full Chad from JoJo's season and be like, I know where you live. I will find you after the show, and we were gonna be like, oh, God.
This.
But I don't think he went that far. I think he just, like, internalized it too much.
My favorite part is when Chad takes out his suitcases to the top of the stairs, and he sits on them, and he's like, I just want to leave. And, like, these guys, like, it was just so drama.
It was so dramatic. And, like, 2 seconds
God.
later, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give Robert another chance. Like, when did mess things up. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I
He
get
ended
it.
up staying, so...
Yay. I guess.
So then also on the beach, we have that other confrontation where Dylan goes up to Robert and is just like, oh, also Sam is like a jerk in the house.
Yeah.
Which there was no like other gossip about it, and it didn't go any further than that. So I don't know like where that came from. I don't know, like, what the beef is. I was kind of assuming it was based off of that confrontation between Sam and Robbie in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that was really early. So I thought that was kind of more of a strategy on Dylan's part to be like, well, if we're gonna, like, if someone's gonna be talking about Chad, and that's kind of a legitimate thing, maybe I can throw this other name in there. And then we'll have a couple of people who are on the bottom, and then I won't be in the talk of conversation on the bottom.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I don't know, but...
And then, like, he was like, thank you for talking to me. I just feel like it's silly. There's at least, when I'm thinking of The Bachelor and Bachelorette, there's at least some, like, getting to know you. I feel like it's all gossip that they're showing.
Yeah,
it's
it kind of is.
Gossiping.
Unless it's on the, like, one-on-one dates.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's more, like, opening up and things. But even then, I don't think it's enough. Like, they don't show enough of them, like, actually talking to each other about things.
Yeah.
They're just kind of, like, sitting there, like, doing whatever the activity is, and then they, like, cut around and they don't show you anything about what they're actually talking about.
Yeah.
So, on the beach, on this date, they do the beach volleyball, and they split into 2 teams, and the winning team was Robbie, Dylan, Justin, and Eric and Brandon. They all went, and they had, like, a little picnic with Robert.
Yeah, which I felt like lasted 2 seconds. I totally missed it.
Honestly, it really did. They didn't show... I mean, they showed, like, Robbie going over with the grapes and, like, feeding them to Robert, which was cute.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And then Justin was named the MVP of the game, which meant that he got a date with Robert. And he got to choose someone from the losing team to have a date with.
Which is something I also missed.
Dev, how do you feel about Justin?
Okay. I love Justin.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we agree on this.
Absolutely. I am obsessed with his hair. And full disclosure, if I love your hair, I don't care who you are, I love you.
Mm-hmm. I feel as though Jason is cute, he's upbeat, he has just got such a good attitude and a good personality, and I love him.
Love him.
We love you, Justin.
So he has to choose who's going to go on this date from the losing team. And that's when that whole thing with, like, Chad and Eric happened, and we didn't even really see Justin talking to anyone to, like, make this decision.
No.
But he says that Jason's gonna get the date, which everyone's kind of excited about because everyone seems to like Jason in the house, and they're all happy for him.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
I liked it. I like Jason, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jason and Chad get into this fight. Well, it's kind of like one side of the house against, like, Sam and Chad, basically, in the hot tub.
The hot tub of negativity.
Yes. So they're talking about how, like, the house is divided now. And it was kind of, I mean, it was at first the losing team against the winning team, and then it was kind of everyone against Sam and Chad. It was like the people sitting on the couch versus the people in the hot tub, but there were only 2 people in the hot tub.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, that's what... And we've talked about, like, majority versus minority before.
Yeah.
And how everything can get twisted. You can turn into the bad guy with one decision you make.
Yeah.
But there is kind of a, when everyone's getting along and you're the only one who isn't, who's in the wrong? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
Yeah. So I don't really know where we stand on that. It could have gone either way. I felt kind of like they were attacking the guys in the hot tub a little bit too much, but I don't exactly know what happened because they didn't show us.
They didn't
so
really show us.
It's hard to speak to it. Then Justin and Robert go on their date together. And they're doing like fragrance testing and choosing a perfume for themselves.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
They're like making it, right? And like finding something they both like. And
Yeah. Which I agreed with Justin. Like, as soon as I saw the place, I would have turned around, walked back into the cab, and been like, where to next? Because it really is, like, if you choose something different, does that mean that you don't have that thing? I feel like it could be anything, so you want everything to go perfectly. And it ended up going perfectly. They ended up choosing the same scent, and Justin talked about his grandfather and the roses.
And it was adorable.
Yes.
And they were right there. Justin is lucky that they did like the same sense, because what would have happened then if they didn't? Like,
no, honestly, it could have sent him home.
It's insane.
It's things as small as that, which is really weird. But
Robert's sitting here like, oh well, I'm taller than 5'11", so it's not gonna work with Paul.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense when there are so many guys, so you're trying to, like, narrow it down, but I was happy that they chose the same scent, and then that they had the first kiss together. That was very exciting.
It was so cute.
They were really cute.
And, like, Robert was like, come here. And you're like...
Yes. Like, honestly, if a guy says that, it's the best thing in the world. So,
Justin
and it was the
it.
best thing in the world.
Justin said it. Yeah, that was kind of their date. It went really well.
Yeah.
Do you see him? I see him going really far. But
I hope he goes really far.
I don't know if he'll be the one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really hard to tell at this point because, again, they don't show you anything.
No, not
like,
really.
Was that the only conversation they had there about his grandfather and the roses? There had to have been something else.
Something else.
I mean, maybe when you're kissing, there's nothing else to talk about. Maybe that's enough, but...
Yeah.
So then, Robert and Jason go on their date together, and they get massages.
Yes.
And we get a pan down of Robert in,
like,
Speedo. Which was amazing. Amazing. And I guess the date didn't really go that well.
He's the total package. Sorry.
I give up. I quit.
What did you say? I didn't.
I said, I guess the date didn't go that well.
Right? Okay. I really liked Jason. He was, like, sweet.
Yeah, I really liked Jason. Jason reminds me of someone from a podcast who's beautiful, and I love him, so I automatically love Jason. But what I'm wondering, there was a conversation that took place where we heard Robert ask the question, so I heard Chad wanted to go home, what do you think about that? And then we didn't hear anything else. And then, poof, the only other conversation was about that chemistry thing.
Yeah.
And then they wrote their names in the salt, and then they left. So, I wish we'd seen what Jason's response to that was, because maybe that colored why he got sent home in the end. Maybe he said, I don't think Jason wants to be here, and Robert was like, oh, you're just trying to throw him under the bus. Like, you don't seem like the type of guy I want to be with. Or maybe he was like, yeah, keep Chad, he's a really great guy, and that colored it, so he was down to those two, and what Jason said made him choose Chad. I feel like that would open up a lot of the
Mhm.
reason why Jason went home. And they showed us, they, like, teased us with it. They, like,
Yeah.
slipped it out there, and then they immediately put it back away, put, like, pants on it. It was gone.
It was done.
And we didn't get to see what it was.
I mean, it was a silly cut.
I was so upset.
But anyway.
In tandem sigh.
I do honestly kind of think it was mostly that he wasn't attracted to. Like,
yeah, no,
a lot
I definitely
of these
agree with that.
beginning things are like, well, I'm not into him. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, that doesn't make the conversation that we missed
Any less important. Yeah.
It doesn't. So,
Because that tells you a lot about Jason, what he answered to that question. So even though he's about to go home, I mean, like, we like to gossip, so we have to know what he responded.
Exactly.
So yeah, then we go to the black tie event, and there was that moment where it was like, is Danique gonna go home?
Like, you're like crazy.
But then it was between Chad and Jason.
Yes.
And Chad stayed, and Jason went home.
Yeah. Which is fine. I mean, because I don't have that many feelings towards Chad. I was just sad to see Jason go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought he was a good guy, but
I feel like there's no one that I want to go home at this
Yeah,
point.
right?
They're
Like,
just
everyone
people who I
seems-
want to stay.
yeah, it's true. I wonder if we'll see any
Guys, make me angry.
negative-
I want you to make me want you to go home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Something.
I think
along
that
those
was
lines.
solid. That was solid. But yeah, I think that this show is amazing.
Yes. I have a little mini rant about this is only an hour show. What? Last week it was an hour and a half, and that was bad enough for me. Like,
Used to 2 and 3/4 hour long
Honestly.
Bachelorette episodes, and we're like, there needs to be more.
it's ridiculous. It's a problem, and I understand this is the first season. They need to test the waters, but it's ridiculous, and I need to see more. I need to see more, and there needs to be more. And if they had 2 hours, maybe we would have heard that conversation.
Even an hour and a half.
Yes, exactly.
So we're angry that it's not as long as The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Which The Bachelor, I think, also started off at an hour, but we've reached the point.
We've gotten to the point where it can be 2 hours and nothing's gonna go wrong. Okay? Everyone's gonna watch it. At least we are. Like, I feel like there's a little bit of an issue with the fact that they don't have any, like, cocktail party thing.
Yeah.
So
I
it's the
agree.
date, and then if you don't get the one-on-one, like, it just seems like there's not enough time for them to get to know each other.
Yeah. There's, no opportunities.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have to see in next episode what happens. Like, if
Yeah, because it is narrowing down. So I feel like once it gets to, like, a smaller group of people, maybe they will start doing just, rather than group dates, they'll all be on, like, one-on-one type things.
Yeah. And, it does, even though they don't show it, obviously, I do feel like they had a little bit of time, on the group dates by themselves, like they were talking, but not significant.
Yeah, they just don't show it, so it's hard for us
It's hard for us to know what they don't show.
So the connection count for this episode was 13.
Keeping it high.
And then we had 2 disconnections.
Which we weren't sure.
Yeah. So anyone who manages to watch for this long, just let us know. Should we count the disconnections? Will there be many more disconnections?
We don't know.
We don't know. This hasn't been a problem.
And yeah,
in the
I don't know. They're
past.
shaking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Felt a
Lance Bass, I wanted to hug him because in his little speech before the black tie event, there were like 5 connections. It was amazing. Thank you, Lance Bass. I love you.
Love you, Lance Bass. Answer our tweets.
So yeah, you can check us out on Twitter at Such a Connection.